The wise know the self is the only thing that is, as its source and its expression. You are the only one that exists as the silent as well as the moving. That's your wisdom. Only you exist. Nothing else. Everywhere. The same you. Expression and the source of the expression. That's oneness. That's being self, being God. And now the mind comes in action and starts to explain, but it's about the feeling, the being. The self is the only. That's you. The wise know the self. They know there is nothing but the self. The self as the silent source, as well as a moving being, actions. It's all the self expressing itself in movements, in the daily fantasies of the self. There is nothing but the self. It's a glow. It's inside a glow of well-being. There's only that self. I am. I am is silence, and it expresses itself as all beings. There's only me. There's only the self. It's everywhere, in all beings, the same self. Beings look different. Self is the same. It loves to express itself. And it does it well. Look how beautiful the self is. How beautiful you are. The I am. I am is visible in every single atom of creation. It's the expression of you, of the self, of I. Why should you look for yourself? Because everything is you. Everything is I am. I am silent, and if it's known, I am known as everything. That's the bliss of being. I am all. Bliss, bliss, bliss. If the waves on the ocean would have consciousness, they would first look for the ocean, and then they would know they are the ocean. That's so obvious for us to see that the ocean is the wave, and the wave is the ocean. The ocean is the self. And the waves come out of the ocean. How can the waves be different? It's the expression of the aliveness of the ocean. It's all the same ocean. Coming up, going down, turning left, going big, going small, making noise, be easy, silent, soothing. It's all the same ocean. Well, if you place the word ocean for self, then you can see all is the self. It's moving, it's turning, it's coming up, it's going down, it's joyable, it's soothing, it's silent, it's all the self. It's all you, expression of I am. I am is you, is the inner self, silent. And your expressions are moving. Moving and coughing, that's the self. Expression itself. It's just one self. Don't have to look for yourself, because you are everywhere. The self is I am. I am is all. There's only one. That's you. When there's only the self, and that is, we know that, then you and I are the same. So funny, but so true. It's all one self-being, expanding itself, flowing in all forms through creation, through manifestation, and meeting itself in all forms and movements. When God is the self and I am the self, God and I are the same self. We are the same. When I am the self and you are the self, you and I are the same. God is the self as you, as the self as me, is the self, is all. Why can we not be living in this knowledge? We have the knowledge, it is inside, it is the self, we feel it, we know it, and still we make the mind divide us in, because our eyes see different forms. But it is the same self. When I have a blue shirt on Monday and a red shirt on Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever day it is, it's the same me. When I am sweating in the summer and I'm freezing in the winter, it's the same self me. When I am walking outside or sitting here or being cold and whatever, searching or feeling good, it's the same self. This self in me is the self in you. Whether you have blonde hair or gray hair, or this self has all hairs and all colors. The self dresses itself in all forms, in all colors, and in all beings. Being itself. The self is in all beings, being itself. If you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or Chinese or American or whatever names are posed on you, are added, it's not what you are. The self is what you are, and all the rest is its play, the play of the self. This life I have blue eyes. In the former life, I am sure of it. I had brown eyes because I was in India. It feels so home to be the self. And be the self, you can see people in the street doing things and you can feel how they try to get some or to what they feel when they are disappointed. Just the same self. It's just a form that divides because we think it's different, but the wave in the ocean can be steep and high and small and curling. It's the same ocean. We don't divide the ocean. No, but we divide ourselves in forms of humanity and we fight. Oh, it's a pity. The self kills itself. And the self loves itself, and the self longs for itself. The self searches for itself. The self hates itself. It's all expression of the self, but we divide it because the mind thinks divided. That's why there is so much trouble, but we know that. But it's very good to understand that it's not the form, it's the inner that is the same. The outlook of it is different, but it's the same self. When you have a blue shirt or a red shirt, you are the same self. That's obvious. And it's not visible, but the self is everywhere the same self. I'm talking to the self. The self is talking to the self, and the self is listening to itself. It's loving itself, and it's enjoying itself. It's waking up in itself, by itself, through itself. There is only the self, you, the I am. I am you, you are me, only one. It has to penetrate. The self divided and comes back, but always, everywhere, it was and is the self. Feel it. There's only this one self, visible as all what is visible. If you would sit next to me, there would be one self sitting here, visible as two forms. It's easy to see that. This self is everywhere the same one self. That's what we call God. And God says it's all one. The self. When there is no one in the house, there's the one self. When there are 40 people in the house, there is still the one self. All forms to play with and to look at. It's like a story. When you read a book, all things happen in the book, you like it. And you see the movie, all things are moving and doing things in the movie, you like it, but it is the one self in all that forms. And there is only one self seeing all that forms. It's the one self playing with itself as itself, but it plays that it looks different to make it possible to play. If all the selves would look the same, there was no movement possible. So the self takes all forms and all colors and all shapes, and it plays. It plays. That's what self does. it goes away, and it turns back. And the feelings in it, it's the same feeling everywhere, because one self is the happiest being ever. The one self is bliss, and you have that. You are that. It's my bliss in you and your bliss in me. There's no owner of bliss, but it is one. Feel it, be happy.